We love our cats deeply, but have you ever wondered if your feline companion truly returns that affection? You're not alone in this concern, and you're certainly not imagining things. Cats are incredibly complex creatures, and their behaviors often leave us puzzled and questioning the depth of our bond with them. That's why today we'll explore the subtle signs that might indicate your cat isn't as fond of you as you'd hope. This isn't meant to discourage you, but rather to help you understand your cat better and learn how to strengthen your relationship with them. Before we dive into the warning signs, it's important to understand that cats communicate very differently from dogs or even humans. They're naturally independent creatures who express their emotions through subtle body language, vocalizations, and behavioral patterns. What might seem like indifference could actually be stress, illness, or simply their unique personality. The key is learning to read these signals correctly and responding appropriately to your cat's needs. In the feline world, much is communicated through the eyes, and understanding this visual language is crucial for any cat owner. When your cat gazes into your eyes and holds that stare, it's their way of showing complete trust and deep affection. This direct eye contact is actually quite significant in cat behavior, as cats typically find prolonged staring threatening or aggressive. However, if your kitty deliberately avoids your eyes or consistently leaves the room when you try to make that connection, this could signal that they're feeling distrustful or uncomfortable around you. Cats have a beautiful way of showing affection called slow blinking, where they look at you and slowly close their eyes, almost as if they're savoring a peaceful moment or enjoying a lovely dream. Research suggests this is their equivalent of sending you a kiss or a warm hug. If your cat avoids eye contact entirely or doesn't respond when you try to slow blink at them, it might indicate they don't feel the same level of affection toward you that you feel toward them. This behavior becomes even more concerning if it's a sudden change from their normal patterns of interaction with you. If you've spent any significant time observing cats, you've likely noticed they communicate extensively through their tails. A proudly raised tail typically indicates a happy, confident cat, while a tucked tail often shows fear or submission. But it's not just about the tail's position. The movement patterns are equally crucial for understanding your cat's emotional state. Unlike a dog's enthusiastic tail wagging, which usually signals joy and excitement, a cat's tail flicking is generally a warning sign. It's similar to a person tapping their foot impatiently when they're annoyed or frustrated. If your cat's tail is flicking rapidly when they're near you, it could mean they're feeling irritated by your presence or the current situation. In their natural environment, cats use their tails to communicate with other animals, including potential predators or rivals. A cat might flick its tail to signal agitation, excitement, or as a warning to stay away. This behavior can also indicate they're preparing for potential aggression if they feel threatened enough. In a domestic setting, cats continue using their tails to express their emotions and intentions. When a cat's tail is flicking while they're awake and actively engaged with their surroundings, it usually indicates heightened alertness. The cat may be feeling upset, scared, or overstimulated by something in their environment. Interestingly, when cats are hunting or engaged in play, which is essentially simulated hunting behavior, tail flicking demonstrates intense focus and excitement. This is different from the annoyed flicking we discussed earlier, as the context and intensity of the movement vary significantly. Here's a helpful observation technique. The next time you notice your cat's tail flicking, pause and evaluate the entire situation. Are they being disturbed during their rest time? Are you attempting to pet them when they clearly prefer to be left alone? Understanding the context can help you respond more appropriately to their needs. However, not all tail movements indicate negative emotions. Slow, gentle movements like casual swaying or light twitching often indicate that your cat is relaxed and content in their current environment. Cats scratch objects for numerous important reasons, and it's not simply to destroy your favorite furniture, though it might certainly feel that way sometimes. Scratching serves as a territorial marking behavior, as cats have scent glands in their paws that leave their unique signature when they scratch surfaces. Additionally, this behavior helps them shed the outer layers of their claws, keeping them sharp and ready for climbing, hunting, or self-defense. But what happens when your cat starts scratching excessively? Excessive scratching occurs when your cat's normal scratching routine significantly increases in frequency or intensity. You might notice them scratching multiple times throughout the day, leaving visible destruction in their wake. They might also begin targeting new areas of your home that they've never shown interest in before. This behavioral change can be their way of expressing anxiety, stress, or emotional disturbance. Think about how you might pace or fidget when you're feeling anxious. Cats often scratch more than usual as their coping mechanism for dealing with uncomfortable emotions or situations. Changes in their environment can trigger this stress response. The introduction of a new pet, a new family member, moving to a different residence, or even something as simple as rearranging furniture can significantly unsettle your cat. Cats are creatures of habit who thrive on routine and predictability, so any disruption to their familiar environment can cause considerable stress. Excessive scratching can also be a reaction to feeling threatened in their territory. If they sense competition from other cats in the neighborhood or feel their space is being invaded, they may scratch more frequently to reinforce their territorial claims and feel more secure. In some cases, excessive scratching might signal underlying health issues. Certain skin conditions, allergies, or parasitic infections can cause discomfort that leads to increased scratching behavior. If you notice other concerning signs like hair loss, redness, swelling, or changes in your cat's eating or sleeping patterns, it's definitely time to consult with your veterinarian. Fortunately, there are effective ways to manage this behavior. Providing appropriate scratching posts in various locations throughout your home is one solution. You can also use deterrent sprays designed specifically to discourage cats from scratching certain areas. Remember to never scold your cat for scratching, as it's completely natural behavior for them. Instead, focus on understanding and addressing the underlying cause of their stress or discomfort. Every experienced cat owner knows that cats are generally fastidiously clean animals. They naturally use their litter boxes and maintain excellent personal hygiene. However, your cat's behavior around their litter box can reveal important information about their emotional and physical state. When your cat starts avoiding their litter box or begins eliminating outside of it, this isn't necessarily just a behavioral problem or act of defiance. It could be a significant sign that your cat is experiencing stress, unhappiness, or even physical discomfort. Perhaps there's been a change in their environment that they're struggling to accept, or maybe they're not feeling physically well. Research published in feline medicine journals has found a strong correlation between litter box problems and feline stress levels. Scientists discovered that stressed cats were significantly more likely to experience issues like inappropriate urination, which is one of the most common litter box-related problems that cat owners face. If you notice your cat grooming themselves excessively to the point where they're losing fur or causing visible skin irritation, this is definitely a warning sign that shouldn't be ignored. Excessive grooming often indicates that your cat is dealing with anxiety, stress, or some form of physical discomfort that they're trying to alleviate through repetitive grooming behaviors. They could be feeling stressed about changes in their environment, or they might be attempting to soothe some type of physical discomfort or skin irritation. When cats feel anxious or overwhelmed, they sometimes turn to excessive grooming as a self-soothing mechanism, similar to how humans might bite their nails or fidget when nervous. If you suspect your cat is grooming excessively, start by examining them for potential physical causes. Check carefully for fleas, signs of allergies, or any visible skin infections that might be causing discomfort. If you don't find any obvious physical issues, it's time to consider psychological factors like stress or anxiety. Has there been any recent significant change in their environment? This could include introducing a new pet to the household, moving to a different home, changing their litter box location or type, or even alterations in your daily routine that might be affecting them. If you can identify a potential stressor, try to address it gradually and patiently. If the excessive grooming behavior continues despite your efforts to identify and address potential causes, it's important to schedule a visit with your veterinarian for a thorough examination and professional guidance. If your cat seems to be hiding more frequently than usual, disappearing for extended periods throughout the day, this could indicate that something is bothering them. Frequent hiding can be their way of expressing anxiety, stress, or discomfort with their current situation or environment. If they're spending significantly more time hidden away than usual, it might mean they're not feeling comfortable around you, or something in their environment is making them feel unsafe or restless. This behavior change is particularly concerning if your cat was previously social and interactive. Cats also have a strong tendency to hide when they're experiencing illness or physical pain. They possess powerful survival instincts, and in their natural wild environment, showing obvious signs of illness or vulnerability could make them easy targets for predators. This instinctive behavior has persisted even in our domesticated feline companions. When cats aren't feeling well physically, they often retreat to quiet, secluded spaces to conceal their discomfort as a protective mechanism. This behavior is part of their deeply ingrained instinct to hide any signs of weakness and avoid becoming vulnerable to potential threats. So how can you determine if your cat is hiding because they're not feeling well versus other reasons? The key is paying close attention to changes in their overall behavior patterns. If your normally social and interactive cat suddenly starts spending most of their time hiding, this should definitely be cause for concern. If they're also displaying other potential signs of illness such as loss of appetite, changes in their litter box habits, decreased self-grooming, lethargy, or any other unusual behaviors, it's definitely time to contact your veterinarian for a professional evaluation. We all understand that cats aren't dogs. They have their own unique and often subtle ways of expressing and receiving love and affection. However, if your feline friend consistently ignores or actively avoids your attempts at showing affection, this might be a sign that they're not feeling the same level of emotional connection that you're hoping for. Why might this be happening? There could be several different explanations for this behavior. Perhaps your cat isn't feeling physically well, which can significantly affect their desire for social interaction. Maybe there's been a change in their environment that's causing them stress or anxiety, making them less receptive to affectionate gestures. It's also possible that they're simply not in the mood for physical contact or social interaction at that particular moment. Cats are naturally independent creatures who highly value their personal space and alone time, so their lack of response might not be personal rejection but rather a need for solitude. If your cat is consistently unresponsive to your affectionate gestures, the best approach is often to give them some space and time. Instead of forcing interaction or continuing to pursue them for attention, allow them to come to you when they're ready and feeling more receptive to social contact. Now you might be wondering, if my cat is displaying these behaviors and seems stressed or anxious, does that necessarily mean they don't like me? The answer is more nuanced than a simple yes or no. When cats exhibit the behaviors we've discussed in this video, it's typically because they're not feeling well emotionally or physically. They're not thriving because something in their environment isn't meeting their needs properly. And as their primary caregiver and the person who controls their environment, you're naturally part of that equation. However, this doesn't mean your cat dislikes you personally. Instead, it usually means that certain aspects of their environment or routine need to be adjusted to better suit their needs and preferences. By identifying and addressing these environmental stressors or health issues, you can help your cat feel more comfortable and secure, which will likely improve their relationship with you. The beautiful thing about cats is that they're quite forgiving once their needs are met and they feel safe and comfortable in their environment. By making thoughtful changes to reduce their stress and address any underlying issues, you'll likely see them begin to view you in a much more positive light. Remember, building a strong relationship with your cat is an ongoing process that requires patience, understanding, and willingness to adapt to their unique needs and personality. Every cat is different, and what works for one might not work for another. Understanding these warning signs isn't meant to discourage you or make you feel bad about your relationship with your cat. Instead, it's designed to help you become a more informed and responsive cat owner who can better meet your feline companion's needs. If you've recognized some of these behaviors in your own cat, don't panic. Start by observing them more closely to understand the context and frequency of these behaviors. Consider any recent changes in their environment, routine, or your household that might be contributing to their stress. Make sure they have everything they need for physical and emotional comfort: clean litter boxes, fresh water, appropriate scratching surfaces, quiet spaces to retreat to, and regular veterinary care. Sometimes simple environmental adjustments can make a significant difference in your cat's behavior and overall well-being. Most importantly, be patient with both yourself and your cat as you work together to strengthen your bond. With time, understanding, and the right approach, most cats can learn to trust and show affection toward their human companions. If you found this information helpful and want to learn more about understanding and caring for your feline friends, please subscribe to our channel and share this video with anyone who might benefit from these insights. Together, we can help create stronger, more loving relationships between cats and their human families.